Today's episode is brought to you by Chords, makers of award-winning professional-grade connectivity solutions designed by integrators for integrators. If you're listening to this podcast, you already know that reliability is crucial. That's why professionals around the world choose Chords. Born in Australia and trusted in over 50 countries, Chords provides robust, fast and effective HDMI, audio, networking, USB-C and control cabling engineered for residential, commercial and mission-critical applications. With over 20 years of experience and a promise of connectivity assured, every Chords product is tested, certified and backed by expert support. Level up your installs today by visiting chords.com.au. That's KORDZ.com.au. From the 3rd to 6th of February 2026, ISE, the world-renowned annual tech show for the systems integration and audiovisual industry, returns to Barcelona, uniting the brightest minds and boldest ideas in smart home and building technology. Last year, almost 12,000 professionals affiliated with the residential sector visited the show for a taste of state-of-the-art industry technology. As co-owner of ISE, Taleah ensures the show remains the leading voice in residential solutions and home automation. Step into the residential and smart building technology zone at ISE, where visionary concepts meet real-world integration. And don't miss Taleah's world-class education program, designed to give you the insights, skills and techniques that are shaping the future of integrated living. Don't just keep up with the industry, push beyond and get ahead of it. Join us for ISE 2026 in Barcelona and use our special code MASTERINTEGRATOR for free registration at iseurope.org. That's Master Integrator as one word at iseurope.org. Today's cinema clients expect more, and with Colosseum, you can deliver. Through the company's new Spark program, when a vendor opts in, a dealer can get Colosseum-designed cinemas at nearly half price. Spark shares the load between dealer and distributor, cutting your costs and creating stunning immersive designs, including 3D panoramic room tours that drive upgrades and close deals faster. Less wholesale cost, faster sales, Colosseum, the design and documentation wingman you didn't know you needed. Hello and welcome to Master Integrator, the podcast that celebrates the people, ideas and innovations powering the future of smart homes and trades. I'm your host, Paul Skelton. Before we get started, as usual, I'd like to thank my amazing sponsors, Chords Australia, Colosseum, Connected Magazine, Integrated Systems Europe, and Taleah. Without their support, I wouldn't be sitting here today. So I truly appreciate everything they've done to help build this podcast. So speaking of Taleah, let's talk about membership renewals. I know it's easy to let it slide. Renewal emails, paperwork, all the rest. But here's the thing. Taleah actually does a lot more for this industry than most people realise. Whether it's pushing for recognition with the government, shaping national education standards, or helping get our occupation recognised, we need a strong, united membership to keep the momentum going. I like to say that this isn't your grandparents' Taleah. I've been around the industry for 20 years, so I'm very aware of the shortcomings of the past. But things have changed, particularly in our region where we have such a stronger focus on building recognition and opportunities for integrators. So when you renew your membership, you're not just buying a logo or a sticker for your window. You're supporting advocacy, apprenticeships, training pathways, global events, and your own future as a smart home technology integrator. So with all of that said, if you haven't renewed yet, please do. And if you've never joined before, now's the time. Visit taleah.org/join and be part of the movement. But let's get on with the episode. And today's show is a little bit different, and it's one I've been really excited to share. I'm joined by Taleah Pearson and Aleah and Kayla Hill, the three cousins behind Future Lady Tradies, a growing national movement that's redefining what it means to be a woman in the trades. Now, they're not sparkies or plumbers themselves, at least not yet, but what they've built in just a few short years is nothing short of extraordinary. From their Build It Like a Tradies school program to their Female Friendly Workplace Accreditation, FLT is creating real change by attracting, connecting and retaining women in blue-collar careers. We talk about the importance of hands-on engagement, the power of peer connection, the challenges women still face on site, and how three women in their early 20s are taking on the industry, one initiative at a time. Unfortunately, we had some issues with video recording on this episode, so we're going old school, audio only. This is Master Integrator. Here are the future lady tradies. Welcome to the show. So let's start at the very beginning. How did Future Lady Tradies actually come into life? And tell me a bit about your background and what led you to this point.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Aleah, Kayla and myself, we are actually cousins and the girls are twin sisters. So we sort of fell into Future Lady Tradies from working with their mum and my auntie in recruitment. So she owned a recruitment agency that specialised in blue collar. And it was through that we found there were no females applying for jobs, and let alone like any that were looking for apprenticeships or on the tools. So we dug a little bit deeper, and that's where we found that there was a skill shortage in general, but there was also a big push for like females on the tools and quite a large shortage there. So naturally, being the same age as apprentices, we sort of took it on board and said, let's start this charity and see what we can do and the impact that we can make.
So looking back, I guess, when you were at school and the age of a lot of people were entering apprentices, I mean, I think back to when I was in high school and no one ever suggested trades to me. So I'm interested, Did you have a similar kind of experience? Did that ever get mentioned as a potential option?
We definitely had a similar experience going into in school. It was always uni that was so pushed, and that's what we all did when we graduated school. We all went to university and kind of was just doing subjects just to get that ATAR so we can get into uni. And we weren't enjoying it. Like, it wasn't something that we were passionate about or something we were even certain about doing. We kind of just did it because everyone else did. And there was no talk really about trades in schools. Starting this up, we go into school so we can spread that awareness to let other kids know that doing a trade is actually a really good career path. It's very sustainable as well. You can really grow in it, but there's just no awareness around it. So
I've seen online that you've described, I guess, Future Lady Tradies as a community, as a movement and a voice. So can you sum up just in a sentence or two of what exactly that you're trying to achieve with this group?
Yeah, so Future Lady Tradies is a support network. So we are also a charity with ACNC, and our main objectives are to attract, connect and retain female apprentices within all blue-collar sectors.
It seems like it's a shame that we're still in a position where we have to do this. I know that my background before CDA, I was in the media and one of the publications I did was for electrical contractors. And I do remember every single week I got a press release because someone employed a female. That was it. And they thought that should be on the cover of a magazine. So have you actually seen any shift at all towards the attitude of young females coming into trades, or are we really just dealing with the same thing over and over again?
No, we've definitely seen a shift. A lot of employers are hiring for skills regardless of whether you're male or female. They're looking for the best candidate and the best person for the job. We have found that a lot of employers do want to be bringing on more female apprentices and they are open to it. So it's not just like a shutdown of, we're never going to hire a female. They are open, and everybody does have open minds at the moment, and especially with our Female Friendly Workplace Accreditation rolling out now and companies can get certified to being female friendly, it is really taking the steps, just to make sure that it's no different and hiring for any other role.
There's definitely a generational change happening in the industry, because a lot of the older generations are obviously used to being taught that it is a male role and position, and they're not used to females being on site. So naturally they're just rejecting of it. But I think it's harmless, and as the generations come through the industry, we are seeing more accepting, like Taleah said.
Yeah, so you mentioned there that the Female Friendly Workplace Accreditation, which I know when you first mentioned that to me, I was sitting there thinking this is actually a really great idea. It's a shame that hasn't been around for a lot longer. So are you able just to kind of sum up what that involves, and I guess how is it positioned to help change the culture on work sites?
Yeah, so the Female Friendly Accreditation, it basically certifies companies that have taken the steps to be female friendly and that they have everything already on site and also in the office that females need when they are entering the blue collar sector. So we sort of just took what industry was talking about and actioned that.
And it's also used as a recruitment aspect for the employers as well, because if a female, all they're really used to is the stereotype that they hear outside of the industry, and if they see a workplace that has that female friendly workplace accredited symbol, they're more naturally gravitating towards that company because they know that they are for women on site.
So I guess it helps with overall attraction and retention of females within the blue collar workforce and in particular companies.
Are you finding that many of the employers that you're working with have actually had to make significant changes in order to reach the accreditation, or are we talking minor tweaks?
In particular, some of it is more just tweaking up their policies around like bullying and harassment and all of that kind of stuff, but they're on the right track already. So just by having this gives them that credibility. Yeah. And all the employers that we work with that are accredited have no issue making a few minor changes as well, because they want to show to the industry that they're here to be leaders of this.
So what does an employer actually have to do to achieve the accreditation?
So it starts off with an application form. So we will just email that through, whatever's easier for them. And it basically just addresses how many toilets they have, the location of them, just so we can estimate costing for how much the accreditation costs. And with costing, it's split up into tiers as to how many sites/offices the company does have. And then from there, we kind of sort out the costing. They sign the contract. We go over their policies, do an audit. We only do audit twice a year, but we go into audit. And then after they get the tick of approval, that's when we deliver the care kits and all that kind of stuff and give them the certification.
Okay. So roughly how long would it take for someone to go through that accreditation process?
It depends on how large the organization is and how many things they would have to tweak up. Being blue collar, we do try to make things very seamless and very as easy as possible. So the application form, it probably takes 5 minutes, and then as soon as we can get the process started, we will. It also depends on their location too. So like Southeast Queensland based or a little bit out west, for example, that's easier for us to go, okay, well, we can do it pretty much this week or next week. Whereas if, for example, we've had some companies approach from Sydney and Melbourne, obviously we need a little bit more notice because there's flights and we've got to know if we're going to do a full day trip or hotels. So it really does depend on lots of circumstances.
Yeah, but the accreditation isn't something that we want to be hard to get, because obviously we want everyone to spread this awareness and show their dedication to the female employees within their workplace.
Okay, so one of the other, initiatives that you've been working on is the first one I actually heard that you did, and this is how I actually came across Future Lady Tradies, but it's the Build It Like a Tradie program. So are you able to just explain what the aim of that program is and kind of what it's designed to actually do?
Yeah, so Build It Like a Tradie is our educational piece, and we take that out to not only schools but also community organisations and to young people in general. And it's pretty much just to educate them on careers within the blue collar sector with a primary focus on those trade and apprenticeship type of roles. So we do take out a little like modular house or like a cubby house type thing, and the students and young people have to work together in order to build that from the ground up, using all different aspects of trade roles. We do incorporate white collar as well, but only a few with, again, main focus on trades.
And because we were the students 2-3 years ago, we know what engages them. Career expos aren't engaging as much as Build It Like a Tradie, because you say you can reach 300 kids, but you're only probably affected about 2 or 3. Whereas Build It Like a Tradie, we get to really talk to them and get to know their interests, their passions, and then help them maybe steer them into a better direction in trade still.
And so what I love about the program is that it is hands-on. And do you find that you can almost see the moment where it clicks in some of the young people's minds where this is actually a viable future?
Oh, yes. And that's why we implemented Build It Like a Tradie, because it is hands-on. They have to touch things, move things, work as a team, problem solve. And that's really where the interest sparks, not walking around, talking to people. Like, you have to really be doing it.
Yeah, because a lot of the time at careers expos and talking from the people that were attending careers expos 3 years ago. You're just there for the merch and the lollies, and because your teachers said that you have to be there and
get out of
getting
class.
out of class. That's pretty much it. And we did careers expos as future lady tradies, and the difference between careers expos to Build It Like a Tradie is it's honestly insane. Like we, as FLT, we won't be doing any more careers expos because what Build It Like a Tradie does and how it affects students and the education we can give them around trades doing that and doing something hands-on is far more than you could get from a presentation or sitting them down in the classroom for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So how often do you actually deliver the program?
Oh, that is a good question because we do obviously working with the school terms and the school calendars. On average, I would say we do one about every fortnight to every 3 weeks during the school term. And just over this year, it was a pilot program. So we piloted it from May, and obviously we're wrapping up. This week is our last school, and then school holiday starts in a week and a half. So yeah, it is out there, and we're taking bookings for 2026 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, once even when we deliver it and the teachers are seeing it, they're wanting to get involved and they're using their hands and they're understanding more about the blue collar sector so that they can better help their students as well. So yeah, it's really good to see, and that helps us rebook and get more exposure into the school sector as well.
Okay. And I guess, do you track then the people who've gone through this program to see how many follow through and actually then apply for an apprenticeship?
Yeah. Ideally, that is what we do and keep in contact with the teachers. But because the program was only introduced this year, it's hard to keep track of those measurables. But in saying that, there is 3 out of 10 students interested, and that idea sparked in their minds after you go visit them.
And because our most popular grades are the lower grades, so before they are leaving school and exiting, I guess that's what makes it a little bit harder to know if they've successfully gotten an apprenticeship yet.
Yeah.
There have been a few that have gone into the blue collar pathway that we know of, but as we start to do Build It Like a Tradie, we will be repeating those schools. So we will be able to connect again with those students and follow it through and have those conversations. And we do, as Kayla said, always check in with their teachers to make sure that blue collar is not forgotten about and that they are still getting the education around the career pathway that they really want to do.
Yeah. And like, we're very big on social media as well. So we make it known that they can just send us a text on Instagram, and it's just us behind the screen. We're here to provide guidance and give advice. So yeah, we have gained a few followers from the school students as well, which is good.
Connected Magazine is your go-to publication for the commercial and residential AV and smart home industry. The final edition of the year is always the Tech Predictor issue, the one where the industry looks back on the past 12 months and then looks ahead to what might be coming next. Experts from right across custom installation and Pro AV have weighed in, covering everything from the future of broadcast to the shifting commercial landscape to what's on the horizon for residential projects. You can dive into all of that in the latest edition of Connected, along with daily AV news and new products on the website. Links are in this episode's description. It's that time of year again. It's time to renew your CDA membership. Renew by 31st of January to stay connected, supported and recognised as part of the global smart home community. Not a member yet? Join by 31st of December and get the rest of 2025 included at no extra cost. Access exclusive education, events, business tools and the advocacy work shaping our industry's future. Renew or join today at cedia.org/join. That's cedia.org/join. I quite like the idea too of, I guess, working with the students who are younger than most people expect, because by the time someone's in year 11 or 12, they kind of already know where they're headed.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite a good approach, and I think it's very untapped of going to that younger market. So yeah, I think it'd be quite interesting to see kind of longer term too, how many then follow through into a trade.
I think it's really beneficial going for the younger years because we're also normalizing it at a younger age. So they'll grow up kind of being used to seeing it or have an idea that oh, it's boys and girls. And yeah, I kind of know what trade is from Build Like a Tradie kind of thing. So
Yeah, I'm interested too, because obviously you are talking to young females entering the trades in an environment where they're going to be quite open. So I'm interested in what are they telling you, I guess, that are their concerns about coming into the market, into the trades? I mean, are there common themes that come up a lot?
There definitely are. And we did a lot of research from both like the apprenticeship perspective and also trade women's perspective before we did release these initiatives. And I guess it's just like the toilet facilities and the female hygiene products, which is why we implemented our initiatives that we have, is to, I guess, essentially conquer these hurdles and all of that stuff. And I think a lot of the time they see like horror stories and they see some things that are bad within the industry, but it's not really highlighted about the good stuff. So we're there to educate about what can happen, about what is happening and what does happen, but we're also there to say like, these are the good stories. And when we have female friendly workplace accredited companies, they're always first referrals and point of contacts as prospective employers for our female apprentices and any students that are looking for that way, because we know that they have everything that they need in place and vice versa as well.
Yeah, but the biggest challenge we kept seeing was definitely around the toilets, because a lot of the time, well, we actually read that a Sparky apprentice, she didn't complete her apprenticeship because of the toilet situation. And so in the accreditation, companies have to have specifically a female toilet instead of unisex, because it defeats the whole comfort and, I don't know, safety kind of feel of having a female toilet on site. So that's one thing that we really wanted to address. Instead of just talking about it and hearing it in the industry, we wanted to be solutions to all of this.
Yeah,
it's interesting again, because you've obviously just mentioned feminine hygiene products there too. And I know one of the other initiatives you've got is the Kickass Care Kit. So you're able to explain a little bit what that is and why that's so important and why most trades businesses probably haven't even considered it.
Exactly. Well, the Kickass Care Kit was designed to be an emergency first aid kit for females to use when it's that time of the month again. Again, when we were doing research and development, creating the accreditation, we also found that there was a lack of knowledge around, female periods, and also lack of knowledge of having products on site. And half the time, the general managers and CEOs of the company are men. So they naturally don't know about this kind of stuff. So that way, by having the Kickass Care Kit, it's easier for them to just be able to provide for their female staff. The female staff won't have to worry about if they forget something one day and stress out work and not know who to go to. By having the Kickass Care Kits, it's there ready for them. It's just another level of comfort when they're at work, especially in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah, it seems like such a small thing on the surface, but it sends a bigger message.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, have you had any pushback?
No, not at all. I think our Kickass Care Kit has been the most popular when it comes to interest. People love the idea, and like we said, it's a harmless thought that a lot of employers just don't even think of. So we haven't experienced much pushback with that. Maybe if they already supply that to their staff, but we supply it to them, so we take that stress off them having to worry about that.
And our Kickass Care Kit, it also includes a little bit more out of the box than just your typical sanitary products.
Yeah.
Really thought for every female and every industry and every scenario.
Yeah, because it's very, you can have it in any industry, whether you are on the road with civil or on a commercial site in a portable toilet. We have made it very adaptable, so every female can have it wherever they are.
Okay. I mean, from the outside, what I'm seeing is three people who are very, very passionate about bringing female apprentices into the industry. So I'm interested how the industry has actually reacted to your association, because obviously you're three young females advocating on behalf of other young females who obviously and unfortunately have been a little bit ignored when it comes to the blue collar industries and trades industries. So how have you actually established yourself in the market and gone about that, I guess, battling the stigma out there and actually getting a foothold to make people listen?
I think we are very, very strong-willed and very authentic to ourselves. So I guess those personality traits, they do help to build those relationships, and people work with people. So when we're talking about other companies and organizations working with FLT, we have to remember that they're working with us. So we need to be ourselves and we need to be authentic. And it's the energy that we bring, and it's fresh. And everybody, we have never had a company sit there and say, no, we do not want to support, we don't want to work with you three or with FLT. And I think a lot of that has to be with how open and how transparent we are. And just being ourselves, I think that's helped a lot, and to establish that. And don't get me wrong, we've had people that have underestimated us, especially when we first started, because we were 18 and 19 when we started FLT. So I think some of the larger organizations, they just sat back and watched, and they underestimated us a little bit. And they said, look, I don't know if these girls are serious or not.
Yeah.
And I think we've really shown them now, and we've made strides within the industry for them to go, the girls mean business and they're here to make a change.
And a lot of the time, some people only think the amount of experience you've had defines how inspirational you'll be.
Yeah.
But we've had people come to us saying, that's what I thought, but after seeing them and their journey, I've become inspired to be part of the change as well. And being so young, we just know what our audience wants because we are the age of our audience. And being unapologetically ourselves allows all the girls that follow our journey to be themselves as well. Like, that's what we preach. So I think that definitely helps. And we all have each other to fall back on, and we're family, us three. So we're very close. And I think that having that image really helps girls as well.
So you mentioned there, obviously, understanding, I guess, who you represent and knowing what young females want when they move into the trades. What is it they want? And I guess, do you find that established trades businesses, I guess, overestimate what it is and assume they want the world? Or, I mean, how are you finding that?
At the end of the day, I think the upcoming generations just want to be helpful and be part of a positive change. And that's what we see in workplace culture. A lot of the employers are making change to their workplace to make sure they are being impactful with their work and all of that kind of stuff. And honestly, like, there hasn't been a support network purely for apprentices as well. And that's what we are. So again, I think creating that community of young women is really all they want. So they have people to talk to and to relate to, so they know that they aren't alone with anything that they're facing on site. And a group that doesn't come from judgment. We don't come from like super professionalism, like very approachable, and we want to be friends with everyone. We don't want to scare them away, or because no one likes, even the older generation, they like how we're not so scary and strict, and we're ourselves as well.
And I think that we showcase women supporting women very strongly. And I think that's something that the female apprentices really appreciate, because I know from personal experiences and talking to other ladies that it sometimes is women against women, and not so much men against the women. And we're just trying to break that down. And at the end of the day, if we're going to make a massive impact, women need to be supporting women. So that's exactly what we do, and the values that we bring to the table.
So you mentioned just a second ago about obviously young people wanting to have an impact. Obviously what you're doing alone will have an impact. I guess, what are you hoping that impact to be? I mean obviously it's still relatively early days, but you must have an idea of what you want to see ultimately. So I'd be interested to know what that is.
Yeah, we want to change the perspective and stereotype on trades, especially for women. A lot of the time it's, you have to be a tomboy, or like, you're a tomboy if you work in trades. But we want to completely vanish that image and replace it with, you can be whoever you want to be as a woman on site.
Yeah. And obviously we want to see an increase in the attraction and retention pieces for female apprentices, both like your typical age apprentices and also mature age. And an impact is a ripple effect. So for all we know, the stuff that we're doing in the schools could have a ripple on effect 10 years later in someone's life. So just being able to impact people's lives and being there for them when they really need it and being that support for them. I think that's something that hits close to all three of our hearts, is just being able to support other women and support other people.
So looking at the people listening to this podcast who are all integrators, quite often they are employers as well. What, in your mind, is one practical thing that they can do today to actually, I guess, support gender equity in the workplace? Is there something that they can do right after listening to this episode and say, great, that's the first step?
Female
Obviously,
Friendly
there's
Accredited.
Become accredited.
Get accredited and show that you have everything that women need.
Yeah, and I was just going to understand your audience and understand their needs.
Yeah.
Like for females, they need to feel safe and comfort at work. And that's why our accreditation is so effective.
Yeah.
And just go and ask, say, hey, how are you? What do you think I need out of my workplace to make you feel comfortable at work? Like a simple question can really get you far.
So I guess the question is then, if someone does want to get accredited, where do they go? Where do they head to actually fill in the application?
Yeah, they can reach out to us on socials. We have a very big social media presence. Like we said before, it's just us three behind the screen. So yeah, hopefully from this podcast, you can tell we're very friendly.
Yeah, or our website as well. Just reach out and then we can send through the application form and obviously answer any questions that might come before that process too.
Yeah.
And on the other extreme, if by chance there is a young woman out there listening to this podcast, considering a future in the trades but is unsure, I mean, what would you say to them?
Reach out on Instagram.
Just reach out. Again, find somebody that, find your interests, because there is so many other apprenticeships out there besides just the typically known of plumbing, carpentry and electrical. So find what you're really interested in and then do a deep dive on what other apprenticeships are available.
Exactly.
What else can I do besides these three common ones?
Yeah. And what a lot of people get confused about with apprenticeships is they only think it's construction, but you can be an electrician and work on boats. You can be an electrician and go work in the mines. There's so much more out there than what people know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we get most of our traction from the young girls on Instagram and Facebook, and we can help with all this knowledge and understanding as well.
Yeah.
And then final question for the employers listening to this, aside from getting accredited, how can they support you in getting your message out there?
It's just social media. LinkedIn is such a powerful tool, but also liking, commenting, following.
Yeah. And just creating this awareness with us, being a part of this movement, just letting everyone know that, I support this cause. And if they have a female apprentice on board, get in contact with us, because we have an apprentice support program that might add value to the specific apprentice, might not, but just getting behind us, really.
There's heaps of different ways that employers and organizations can work with FLT. We've got our awards night as well, and we host events to connect not only industry but apprentice as well, because networking is also very powerful.
Yeah.
A huge thanks to Taleah, Aleah and Kayla for such an honest and energizing chat. What they're building with Future Lady Tradies is more than a charity. It's a movement, one that's creating safer, more inclusive and more inspiring pathways for women across the trades. Whether it's through school programs, support networks or certification for employers, their message is clear. You can't be what you can't see. And they're making sure young women see themselves in the future of the workforce. As always, if you've got a story to share or a topic you want me to explore on the podcast, get in touch. I'm looking for stories of change, challenge and innovation from every corner of the industry. Email me at info@masterintegrator.com.au or reach out on LinkedIn. And some exciting news, Master Integrator merch is now live on the website, so grab yours and help support the show. Thanks again to our sponsors, Chords, Coliseum, Connected Magazine, ISE and Cedia. And thank you for listening to Master Integrator. I'm Paul Skelton. I'll see you next time.